All right. I just come on for a few minutes to have a little conversation with my son today. Um,
Little bands with the six, by the way, you know what I'm saying? I know I have to be a little different. You already know. You know what I'm saying? It's a little bands out there already. So whenever y'all find out who I am for real, y'all look back at this video and you'll be like, they came a long way.
so, again, this is EB3, Speaking the Truth in Love, and I'm going to have a conversation today with my oldest son. You guys that watch me a lot, I'm always talking about my family, my boys, but this is my oldest one. He's probably the most successful YouTuber we have right now. He's a man on the move, and I just wanted to talk to him about some of the things that I share with you guys, but I wanted to get a perspective from him as my son growing up with his father and myself. And so one of the things today, maybe he'll come back again and we'll talk again. And
oh, for sure, Mama, for sure.
Or maybe I can get TJB24. You think he'll be willing?
Maybe it depends. It might you have to maybe I have to catch him on the good day.
On the good day,
maybe
okay,
I don't know.
Okay,
we'll have to see though.
So today we're gonna talk about well, to be honest, it's coming up to my anniversary. My husband and I would have been on Sunday married 29 years, which is 10 years longer than he's been in this world, because we were married 10 years before he got me. He was born. So one of the things I wanted to ask him is share with me maybe one of the most memorable things he remembered about his father. That it could be a good, a bad, just something. Maybe a life lesson that.
Well, I'm gonna give y'all a good and a bad, because I have too many bad ones, and I don't want to just, you know what I'm saying, only give y'all bad ones. I want to make sure y'all see the positive side. That way y'all get both perspectives, you know what I'm saying, of how my dad was. But you know what I'm saying, here's one of the bad things. Here's the bad thing. I'm gonna do the bad one first, because I'd rather get the negativity out first and then speak the positivity back into him, you know what I'm saying? But the negative thing, one of the negative things, probably the most negative thing I'm gonna have memories about, is him legit, like every single time he experienced something, like if he experienced anything, he would not let that go. I'm gonna just be honest. Like, okay, here, let me give an example. So whenever I was like, what, 10, 11 years old, and we had came back from soccer, right? And at the time I didn't really know no better, you know what I'm saying? But they was trying to pay the taxes. I think that's what it was, right?
Mm-hmm.
The taxes. They was trying to pay the taxes, but I was just, you know what I'm saying, as a kid, especially as a 10-year-old, you already know. Like, people just be exaggerating how long it be. Like, it be feeling like it's forever. Nowadays, time move by quick, like way too quick, if anything. But back then, it seemed like time didn't never move. Like, it seemed like 20 minutes was 5 hours. I kid you not. Especially back when I was like 10, 11 years old. But that ain't the point. So, you know what I'm saying, when I was 10 or 11 years old, you know what I'm saying, I had went inside whenever, I think it was State Farm. I think that's what it was. I don't remember.
H&R Block.
Oh, H&R Block. Well, it was, I'm thinking about insurance right now. But, yeah, the taxes. So, HR Block. I had went inside there as a kid, and I had told them that we'll sit in the car for 3 hours. That was the worst mistake of my life. I ain't gonna lie. It was the worst mistake in my life on that day, and it's the worst mistake in my life for the past 5, 6 years. I ain't gonna lie. Because after that, he would not let me let that down. I ain't gonna lie. He was not letting me let that down. You know what I'm saying? I had told him that, or I told them that. I didn't even say that. But my dad said he was going to, you know what I'm saying, give me a whooping. You already know how black parents are. I ain't going to lie. Yeah. You already know. I mean, mom understands. But, yeah, I was scared for my life. I thought I was finna get towed up. I thought I was finna probably lose my life that day. I ain't gonna lie. I was scared that day. But a lot of other stuff that happened. I'm not gonna get into that after, but I just want to share that, you know what I'm saying, that negative thing, because it's a lot more negative stuff, but I'm not gonna get into the other negative stuff because we're only doing one negative thing at a time. So the positive thing is that Dad, yeah, of course he had his ways, and of course sometimes it may not seem like it was helpful, but in retrospect, now that I'm getting older and older, I realize it low key helped me in a way, because I would not. Because one thing about Dad, he might be like very physical. Like he'll get physical with you, alright. He'll talk to you for hours. He'll get very physical. But one thing about Dad is he was gonna teach you a lesson regardless. You was gonna learn that lesson. You ain't gonna make the same mistake 3 times. Because if you made the same mistake 3 times, it was gonna get doubled every single time. I ain't gonna lie. Like the first conversation, he might have been short by 30 minutes. That was being generous. Y'all might say 30 minutes is generous. Trust me, it gets a lot worse. The second time, if you make a mistake, it's getting doubled to an hour. And then the third time, forget double. They gonna triple that. It's gonna be 3 hours that time. I'm gonna just be real. That's exactly how Dad was. He was a talker. I'm a talker too, as you can probably tell. But the one thing about Dad, he gonna teach that lesson. And one thing that I really learned from him is, like, you know what I'm saying, like, yo, working for other people is cool and all, but you want to be able to own your own stuff. You want to be able to work for yourself. So that's why a lot of times, like a lot of things I be doing now, like YouTube. I'm a YouTuber right now, but that's a lot of my reasoning for really doing YouTube. I got a lot of other reasons too. Of course, I want to, you know what I'm saying, make my ex look stupid for not, you know what I'm saying, being with a gem like me. But one of the main reasons why, besides that, is because my dad taught me at a young age to, like, you know what I'm saying, want to work for yourself, want to be your own boss. So I'll say that's one thing I love about my dad. Like, that's one thing that I never changed. Even though he had his crazy ways sometimes, that's one thing I learned from him, for real, for real.
So going back to the one story he said that he was trying to keep from saying, was the time where most of you guys, if you've watched my videos, especially the first quarter of this year, you know that my husband recently passed away in January. Well, that year that he's talking about, that same day was the first time we found out he had heart problems. And that was the negative that he didn't want to bring out, because for one thing, he didn't want, I know him, he didn't want to make me feel sadder with it coming up to our anniversary. But I think it's very important, like I always tell on my videos about family stuff, that it's very important to allow your children, as they get older, to express their feelings. And that's what this is about. You can't downplay what your children's experience is, even if to you it's like, oh man, it just hit me in the eye, man, woo, that's rough. But we as parents, we have to allow our children to express how they feel, their viewpoint of it. Our viewpoint is we're trying to protect our child. Even in our harshness, we're trying to protect our child. We're trying to give them a different start in life versus what we had. So, like he shared, his dad, he was telling the truth. His dad will tell you a story, and he will not forget nothing. So whatever you say, make sure it's the truth, because he's gonna come back with it at some point.
And when she said he'll tell the story, I mean, he would not forget not one piece of detail every time he tell the story. He gonna get the exact same story correct 20 times in a row. I'm just being honest.
Yes, because his philosophy was always, if you tell the truth the first time, it's gonna be the same if you tell it 30 years from now. And my God, it was the same when he told it 30 years from then. I could tell you stories, and
we could probably tell the same story
that happened to him in his childhood. But all in all, he was just a loving person. Strict. But that's the old school. That's the old school part of it because he was 19 years older than me, so that's a different generation from my generation. So I'm in a totally different, because I was 31 when I had him, so I'm in a way different generation than he is. And then my husband was 50. I was 31, my husband was 50. So of course he had a different kind of type of childhood with older parents. But is there anything else you would like to share, just on like lessons learned? Like, do you think now, looking back at it, because like me as an adult woman, there were some different things that, and I said I wasn't gonna talk about my mom too much, and I'm not gonna go into too much, but there were different things in my childhood that at the time I thought, oh my God, my mom was just so mean. But then in retrospect, as I've gotten older and I understand that a lot of it was fear. Like, she did not want me to go down the road that she seen the others go down, and even the road that she went down. She didn't want me to have to experience the same hurts and struggles that she experienced. And so therefore she was very strict. And I think that's kind of the way Daddy was with our boys. What do you think? I don't want to be saying, putting words in your mouth. So feel free. You won't be in trouble after the video.
Well, I'll just say this. I think it's definitely important to have, like, it's definitely very important to have both parents, and you definitely need somebody that's extremely strict. Whether if you like it or not, you definitely need somebody that's really strict. That's always gonna be on your case about everything. But you also need the other person that's gonna be strict, that's with them, but like has like a little bit, like a small filter, because you need to have a little bit of balance. And I feel like that could have part to do why, you know what I'm saying? And then it's another good thing is that they actually explain why they were so strict and why a lot of times they got in trouble. Yeah, I have some moments where I got in trouble and I still don't know why I got in trouble to this day. Don't get me wrong, I still do have some of those moments. But most of every time that I got in trouble, they pretty much explained why I was in trouble and why I didn't need to do that again. And I feel like that is a thing that everyone could use. Like, everybody could use both parents. One of them being maybe too strict, but one of them being like enough balanced. You know what I'm saying? Like, just enough to balance it. They both need to be strict. They need to be on the same page, but one needs to be like the one that's just like cold-hearted in a way, not too cold-hearted where they don't love you at all, but they definitely need to be a little bit cold-hearted. You know what I'm saying? They gotta have no filter. Then the other one gotta be the one that balances it out. You know what I'm saying? Because if you see some kids, like they have both parents, yeah, and they might have both of them strict, too strict, right? They on the same page, but they just too strict. And that's why some people you see all kids like that, they might have both parents, but they still be like acting out, doing all these crazy things in the streets and all that. So, you know what I'm saying? They're not letting them live life. And I feel like that's a lot of the thing about like them. Of course, when I was younger, I couldn't really go and experience life that much because I was younger. But whenever I got to be 16, and of course that might not be the case for my brother, but that's a whole nother reason why. I'm gonna be honest. But
each child is different.
Yeah. But I feel like for sure, like, just letting me be able to just, you know what I'm saying, stay out of trouble and just stay in the house for all these years, whenever I got to be 16, it's like I got to experience some life, I got to experience some things, but it's just like I got to the point where I really would prefer to be at the house now, to be honest. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I know one thing. I know I'd rather be at the house than get caught up in some other mess. You know what I'm saying? I know that for a fact. And I feel like a lot of times, whenever they have like too strict parents, it's just too strict. I just know that a lot of the time they just don't care if they get a mess or not. They just don't want to be at the house. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like it's a good thing that they balanced it well. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's just one thing right there. And then here's another thing I learned here. Another thing I learned, like, from being like their child is, you know what I'm saying, like how like parenting is supposed to be. Like, yeah, they're not perfect, of course. No one's gonna be perfect. We're all human.
None of us perfect.
But I kind of got the gist of how parents are supposed to be, and I feel like maybe a lot of the times, a lot of people, you see a lot of people that have like single parents and all this. When you look at those people, yeah, there might be some kind-hearted people on the inside, but they never really got the experience having both parents, and they never got the experience having like the balance. Like the household was never really balanced. Of course, you know what I'm saying, we may not have our dad around no more, but his impact is still with us. So it's like he's still here pretty much. But like some people, they don't really know what that's like. Some people never even had their dad in the first place. So they don't even know, they never had a dad. Like what if they passed away before they was born? Whether they just wasn't there in life, like wasn't there with them. It don't really matter. At the end of the day, they wasn't there. So some people don't really know what it's like. They don't know how they're supposed to be treated. And that's why, you know, I have an ex. I ain't gonna talk about this. But I have an ex, you know what I'm saying, that never really had a dad. But I can't really be too mad at her on why she did what she did. Even though I'm still a little upset, and I've been upset for a while, but I can't be too mad about it because she don't know how she's supposed to be treated, because she never really seen her parents be treated how she's supposed to be treated. And I feel like that's definitely a thing that every kid should experience. Like every kid should have the role models in their life. Like their parents, they're everything to the kids. So if they see, like say for example, like they see the dad beating on the mom, and they're a dude, they gonna grow up and they gonna beat on their wife because that's what they think is acceptable. That's what they see. They just, you know what I'm saying, they selfish to believe that that's cool. They think that's just okay. But in reality, that's not okay. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty much one thing I just learned right there.
So the example. So in your viewpoint, and I feel the same way. It's better for a child to have the mom and the dad, because one of the parents is going to usually be strict. In our household, I think I'm strict, but yeah, my husband was probably way more stricter than me. And we did have a little balance. Sometimes I'd have to talk to him. I never would do it around them, because this is the thing. You got to have a united front in front of the children in order for the family, because I believe in order. You know, the husband, the wife, the children. Dad, mom, and it doesn't mean that my role was less than his, or he ever treated me like my role was less than his, but I just believe in the Bible. So everything that we did, and I hope we were able to kind of explain that too, that everything we did was based on, not that we were perfect, not that we got it all right, because hey, there were times when I had to come back and apologize when I realized, oh well, maybe I should have let my child, you know, explain rather than going off so quickly, you know, right? So, but the thing is, like you said, you need that balance. And children, when they're little, they might not quite understand it, but as they grow older, they'll understand it. And the other thing is, I hope we taught them, or in such a way that they understand that the things that we did in our household, we did them based on biblical principles. We did them based on biblical principles. And it's kind of weird because Daddy didn't go to church that much, did he?
Nah, he didn't go
but
to church.
But he could tell you a scripture, huh?
He could probably recite the whole Bible.
Yes.
He could probably recite it better than Mom can, and she go to church every day, every Sunday.
But yeah, Daddy, he was he was a person that knew the Bible, and he lived by the Bible, except for the fact that a lot of times he didn't go to church. Like, it was rare that he actually went to church. But I don't doubt his relationship with God. I think that everybody has to face God on their married. So it's not up to me to say whether you are or not. Because once you say that you are, then yeah, there's some signs that's supposed to follow. But at the same time, the Bible says we fall, we rise and we fall before the Lord. In other words, God is the one that's going to judge us. And if we fail in life, we don't. Maybe we when we fail, it affects other people, but we actually fail God more so than people. It's just that our actions and our reactions affect the other people in our lives. So, is there anything you want to say before we close out? Anything else you want to share? I have enjoyed this.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed this. This was actually one of his ideas to help Mama out.
For sure.
For sure.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Mom right here, she wants to do a podcast, so should she do more videos like this? If y'all enjoyed this, you know what I'm saying? Run the likes up. Let us know if y'all enjoyed this for real, for real.
So, anyway.
Wait, what was that?
I was going to say something and I forgot. I'll cut this one out. So, anyway, like, subscribe. If you got anything out of this video, if you just found it entertaining, informative, or if you just enjoyed our interactions with one another as a mom and a son, like, subscribe, and share. Drop a comment, as he said, and tell us if you want me to make more content like this. Be blessed. As I always say, be blessed. This is EB3, speaking the truth in love, and I'm out.